Thiago Cesar von Transfero Swiss, and Thiago is the CEO of Transfero Swiss, the creator of the Brazilian Stablecoin holding and MScs from the University of London. Thiago produced one of the first academic thesis about Bitcoin in 2014, while also being a researcher at the Institute of Economic Affairs within the field of digital currencies. Transfero Swiss is the largest crypto payment processor in Brazil. It's your show now. Thank you for coming and welcome. It's a pleasure of mine.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you a lot, Tino, to Codex as well, Herbert, everyone who always supported us in our endeavor and coming to Switzerland, right? So I'll do a brief presentation more about the use cases of crypto in the Latin American market. Of course, I'll use our services as a background because we provide the payment infrastructure for a lot of crypto companies, especially in Brazil. So I will start by introducing a bit about the market in Latin America. So if we go a bit back in the day, in 2016, 2017, the mainly sold cryptocurrency in Latin America was Bitcoin. It changed now, but I'll explain soon enough. And the reason why Bitcoin sold in Latin America is completely different from the reason why Bitcoin sells were in Europe or in the United States. A lot of people, they don't know, but for example, in Brazil, an individual cannot have a bank account in dollars or in euros. They only can have bank accounts in local Brazilian currency. And that reality is also reflected in other Latin American countries. It is still a continent where you have capital controls, a lot of restriction in the movement of capital between in the international financial arena and the countries in Latin America. And with that said, Bitcoin was the first instrument that enabled people to internationalize their finance and perform international payments in an efficient way. So back in 2016, 2017, a lot of import and export companies in Brazil, they discovered that if they actually purchased Bitcoin locally and sold Bitcoin outside of Brazil, for example, in Hong Kong, they could perform international payments. Basically, they were doing a dollar payment, right? They would convert the assets in Brazil and then convert it again for dollars outside of Brazil. And then you have an international payment. So it was very interesting back then in 2017, the demand for Bitcoin and then later other cryptocurrency started growing like exponentially. And that actually led the Bitcoin prices in Brazil, in Argentina, Venezuela, to have a premium or a discount depending on the flow direction, right? If there was more money coming in the country or more money coming out of the country. So then that's when Transfero thought about becoming a payments infrastructure for businesses in Latin America, more specifically in Brazil. We quickly understood by 2018 that just using Bitcoin was not feasible for that, for the international payments aspect of the business. Because, well, you all know who knows about crypto. If you have a lot of people buying Bitcoin, you not only have the premium in the price, right? Because you cannot control the supply, but you also have the confirmation on the blockchain problem, right? So in the peak of end of 2017, beginning of 2018, a Bitcoin transaction was costing in average like $100, and it was taking like 2-3 hours to confirm on the blockchain. And if you're using that instrument as a payment instrument, that is not ideal, right? You'll be exposed to the price volatility and everything. So that's why Transfero, which is, of course, we have several verticals of business in Brazil. We decided to focus on international payments, and we actually created our Brazilian stablecoin. And a lot of people say, but why would you create a stablecoin that is pegged to the Brazilian real, which is a volatile currency, an emerging country's currency? It is an NDF, a non-deliverable forward. That means that you cannot trade or deliver Brazilian reais outside of Brazil, unless it's a futures market, but you cannot actually deliver currency, Brazilian currency outside of Brazil. And the reason for that is what I explained before. basically people in Latin America, and using the example of Brazil, they want a reliable and stable mechanism where they can buy an asset. That asset will hold its price, is priced against another asset. In this case, is the local Brazilian currency. And on demand, they can exchange that stable coin for dollars, for euros, for whatever other digital asset they want in an international exchange. And in effect, what they're doing is an international payment. So this is basically, this triangle here is basically how it works. So the stable coin is the infrastructure, right? Is the underlying asset that is being used to transfer value across jurisdictions. But of course, it's very important to remind that we have a Fiat Gateway in Brazil. That means we have the ability to collect fiat currencies, a fiat ramp in Brazil. We have a liquidity network, which means we have partners who are exchanging BRZ, the stable coin, for foreign currency or for digital assets, right? So those are places, for example, like ftx.com or Bitrex, the exchange, ZBX, another exchange. We have a several list of partners where you can actually bring your BRZ there, the Brazilian stablecoin, and exchange it for dollars, euros, or Bitcoin, or whatever other digital asset you want. And this is this last leg, the international settlement, is the important part. So let's go through the journey of the client, right? So a Brazilian comes to our company, he buys BRZ, which means we have the underlying currency, which is the Brazilian real, right? He then takes the BRZ, he goes to ZBX, FTX, or Bitrex, and exchanges that BRZ for dollars. So the market maker of those exchanges will end up exchanging dollars for BRZs. So it means they will have BRZs on their hands. And since not all of them, they want to have exposure to the Brazilian real, they will come back to us and say, hey, please redeem or let me do the redemption of my BRZs for dollars or for euros so I can settle up my balance. And that's how the international settlement part comes in, which basically means that we can wire those companies dollars or euros even through our European entity or through our Brazilian entity. We have that capability in Brazil. So it is very interesting to see how the use case for cryptocurrencies in Latin America is completely different from the rest of the world. When we're talking about a Swiss person or a German person, usually they are buying cryptocurrencies for speculative reasons, or they believe the price will go up. And I would say that especially now in Brazil and Argentina, 99% of the cases are not holders of Bitcoin. They're not actually buying the asset for investment purposes. They're buying the asset as wealth protection. In case of Argentina, that's a pretty big thing. They are actually buying Bitcoin there in order to protect themselves against the devaluation of the Argentinian peso, which is, well, as you all know, going down very, very heavily. And also escaping very strict capital controls in a legal manner, because buying and selling cryptocurrencies in those countries is not an illegal activity. So it is a legal way of actually having your capital internationalized, and that is very important. So a little bit more of our solution. So as I said, we have a Fiat Gateway, right, which means that our clients can deposit reais to our bank account and then receive BRZ. And with that BRZ, they can exchange it for dollars, euros, or whatever. But of course, we have technology as well, right? So our Fiat Gateway is a platform. It has a dashboard where our partners and clients, usually international exchanges or international platforms, they log in to a screen where they can see all the transactions that came in, all the transactions that went out. There is an API integration. So what happens is when we start a business relationship with a customer in Brazil, and here to give an example, FTX, one of the largest exchanges in the world, they wanted to penetrate the Brazilian market, right? So this is the solution we actually offered them. What we do is, the full step-by-step is, we talk to our bank in Brazil, we open a bank sub-account to our partner. It is under our name, but it is exclusive for that business. So we don't mix funds from other businesses in one account. It's one sub-account per client. And with that sub-account open, that international partner is able to receive Brazilian payments, right? So local Brazilian bank transfers. With that said, Brazilians will start to deposit money into that account, and our API will actually inform our partner's platform that, for example, John Smith deposited 1,000 reais, please credit him 1,000 BRZs in your platform. So that's a very automated process. It makes it quite seamless for an international company to enter the Brazilian market that way. And then, as we say, this customer is ready for performing pay in and pay out operations. And what does that mean? So basically, that bank account enables this partner not only to receive local payments in Brazil, but also perform payouts, or in exchanges you call those like withdrawals, right? For any Brazilian bank. So basically, that is the idea. And when that happens, the action is called payment processing, and our partner can check all the transactions on the dashboard that I showed a little bit before. So it is a fully like a one-stop shop solution for international players that want to enter the Brazilian market. And I mean, that is now the most interesting way to enter a Latin American market. And I'll explain you a bit more why. First, if you get only Brazil, Brazil has 210 million people. And we have way more than 5 million of those already with a Bitcoin wallet. So it is a growing market for crypto. And as I said, the more people know about their capabilities to internationalize their money with crypto, the more clients are coming to international platforms. And here are the key points of why entering the Brazilian market and why doing it this way. So I'll give you a real case example. There is a very large Chinese exchange, which I'll not say the name. They entered Brazil. They actually set up a Brazilian entity, a Brazilian company, and they started offering crypto services to the Brazilian community, right? So in 2 months, they were already, I would say prosecuted, but investigated by the local SEC, the local FINMA in Brazil, for dealing unauthorized dealing of securities in Brazil. They are having a fine, a daily fine they have to pay because of that. And they don't have a bank account yet, because Brazilian banks, they don't open bank accounts for foreign companies, so with foreign shareholders. That doesn't happen. And they have no capability of taking the whatever Brazilian reais they collected in Brazil, they cannot take it out of the country because they have no banking capabilities and even less international banking capabilities. So that's why opening an entity in an emerging country can be a very tricky business. It's not easy to just go to Argentina, for example, or to Venezuela, which is even worse, or Brazil, setting up a company, a bank account, and start dealing crypto over there and doing that with proficiency. It's very, very difficult. The solution we offer is basically a low-touch approach to the Latin American market. So it means that you will not have a Brazilian entity or an Argentinian entity or whatever. You will not be liable for the taxes in Brazil. The regulator will not talk to you because you're not incorporated in Brazil. And basically, we act as a shield between our partner and the Latin American markets, thus providing him the payment collection services and everything. So basically, we make local payments easy, and we make international payments even easier. And that's the key point there. Trapped cash is a very big problem in Latin America. A lot of you guys might know, or you might know someone who have a lot of Brazilian currency stuck in a bank and they can never take it out. So that is our competitive advantage, is providing not only the local payments infrastructure, but also the international payments infrastructure. And I would also like that this talk that I'm giving opens up the minds of entrepreneurs, of businessmen in Europe, and maybe try to change your perception of Latin America as a place that you can actually do business, and you shouldn't be afraid or scared that the business will not work because of the of the restrictions, capital controls, and everything, these solutions that our company is doing, they are not hidden from our bank. It is not something we are doing in secrecy, for example. Our bank is 100% informed that all the operations are crypto operations. They are 100% in the knowledge of the partners we have. They're crypto companies. So we're not hiding anything from the bank. And the regulators, they know what we are doing in Brazil. And this brings much more like a legal certainty to a business. And if something was holding you back from expanding your market to Brazil or expanding your market to Argentina, I guess that now we have a much more solid framework and we have a working business solution that can help you in that sense. Just checking the time here. Okay, I have 9 more minutes. So basically, I already went through that, but how does the BRZ token works, right? A lot of people ask that question, like, okay, you created a stable coin for the Brazilian real. What are the fundamentals behind it, right? Is it like Tether? Is it like through USD? How does it work? Well, so basically, in Brazil, in order for a stable coin not to be considered a security, we cannot actively ourselves, the issuers, intervene in the price formation mechanisms of the coin. What does that mean? It means that we cannot be guaranteeing local redemptions in Brazil by ourselves. We have to work with partners. So the price stability, which is the first component of a stable coin, it has to have a one-to-one parity with the underlying asset, right? So the mechanism we found is we do it via third-party companies. So of course, we do some market making using our European entity, but we also have partners such as Alameda, which is FTX, the exchange, and some other exchanges helping us with the market making. So we are not the single entity putting pressure on the price either up or down of the currency, thus not classifying the BRZ token as a security in the eyes of the Brazilian regulator. So it's very important that they perceive that the price mechanism comes from the market and not from a single entity, in this case, the issuer, manipulating the price. It's very, very important. So that's how we do. We have external market makers bringing the parity of the Brazilian real to 1 BRZ. So 1 BRZ is 1 Brazilian real. The reserves. So basically, we keep a 1-to-1 reserve ratio. All the money is kept in a Brazilian bank account, one of the largest banks in Brazil. They know we are keeping the money for that purpose, so we are not hiding anything from the bank. And we also keep an over collateral, which means a little bit more than we should in dollars outside of Brazil, just because most of our redemptions of BRZ are in dollars. And for the sake of speed and efficiency, we keep a dollar reserve to quickly redeem BRZs for dollars. That's the idea. It is important to note that October was the first month that we made a proof of funds for the BRZ. So we called 2 law firms in Brazil and 1 consulting firm in Brazil. And they all participated in a Zoom call where we showed them live. We logged into our bank account and we logged into our US dollar account. And we showed them all the reserves that we have for the token. So we are starting to publish every month a proof of funds, like a proof of reserves in this case, that the BRZ is fully collateralized. So we are improving the transparency of the token. The BRZ token is an ERC20 token, so it's built on top of the Ethereum blockchain. And the smart contract was audited by one of the most reputable smart contract audit firms. That is very important if you guys follow especially the DeFi market right now that was booming some months ago. A lot of badly or poorly written smart contracts led to the financial losses of the participants. So having a solid smart contract is key, so you don't get, a hack goes there, funnels out all the funds, and then everyone is, especially on a stable coin where you have to redeem it for real money, it could be disastrous for a badly written smart contract to exist. And well, transparency, that's the what I just said, and global acceptance. So basically that's key, in my view, to any emerging country stablecoin. And here I'm not only talking about the Brazilian currency like BRZ. There is also a very good project called Buy Lira from Turkey. They created a stablecoin for the Turkish lira. There is also the Indonesian rupiah. I know the project the project team that created the stablecoin for Indonesia, and I think soon enough we'll have many emerging country stablecoins. But those stablecoins only have a reason to exist if they have global acceptance, in the sense that you can quickly exchange that stablecoin for hard currency, be it the dollar or the euro or the Swiss franc, or even other digital assets such as Bitcoins, USDTs, and US dollar-based stablecoins. So that's very important for an emerging country stablecoin. So yeah, this is basically a summary of how the international settlement works. So the Brazilian reais are underlying the BRZ tokens, which are then exchanged for dollars, euros, tether, and other assets. And Guilherme, who made this presentation, put here a little pig. We still don't exchange BRZ for pigs, but one day, who knows? it's just the little safe, right? The piggy bank. This is currently our liquidity network for BRZ. So basically, we have US-based exchanges, Canada-based exchanges that are exchanging BRZ for dollars or Canadian dollars in this case. We have ZBX in Europe, which was incorporated in Switzerland and in Malta. Bitrex, that is in Liechtenstein. BRZ trades against the USDT and BTC in Bitrex. We have FTX, one of our largest partners. Just with FTX, to give you guys some numbers, we did 675 million reais in the past 3 months. That is, in dollar terms, $150 million, something around that in the last 3 months. Bitforex is also a player that has the BRZ. And of course, we have the Brazilian exchanges providing the pairs against the Brazilian real. So when Brazilians want to buy BRZ, they go to these exchanges. When they want to exchange the BRZ for foreign currency, they go to those exchanges on the top, the Northern Hemisphere ones. So we are constantly growing the BRZ liquidity network. We are inserting the BRZ into crypto debit cards. For us, that's very important as a product, as the usability of BRZ will start increasing for the users. So that is within our goal. One of our goals is to have the BRZ in 2 or 3 major crypto debit cards within this year. And we are almost there. We have one, the debit card of BTSE, BTSE. This is the banking infrastructure, and we are integrated in Brazil. So these 3 banks are specialized in international remittances. This bank, Bradesco, is the 2nd largest bank in Brazil, the retail bank, and Caixa is the state-owned bank in Brazil. A lot of our reserves of the BRZ are kept in Caixa and Banco Brasil Plural. And Voiter, C6, and Massima are neobanks, digital banks that we are also integrated with. So basically, yeah, we have more than 2,000 institutional BRZ transfers in 2020. I mean, a number of transactions. That doesn't mean the volume. $120 million in volume in the last 3 months. Our reserve status is 100%. More than 20,000 retail clients are using our payment solution. And the fees that we charge go from 0.5% to 4% on the redemption against the dollar or the euro. It depends on the profile of the customer that we are serving. High risk or low risk, the rate will change. And BRZ is already in the media. Recently, we released the news that FTX bought 20% of our group in Switzerland, Transfero Swiss. So now we are shareholders. And that is coming to the international media within 2 days, but the news is already in Brazil. And this is in Portuguese, I'm sorry, but it's good practice for a Latin American language. These are the partners and customers using BRZ in general, or partners that we use. So we are integrated to Fireblocks, BitGo. BRZ is native on Trust Wallet, Edge Wallet. Payment providers are using BRZ. So this is a short summary and list. And not to extend myself and blow up my time, I think 25 minutes is now. So thank you. This is the team. Yeah, very important. Part of the team, of course, but the guys usually in the commercial department. Guilherme lives in Zug, Julian in Brazil. I live in Zug as well. And thank you very much for your audience. And it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Thiago. This was a running system, what you're going through now, with a lot of information about that. And your list of your partners are really impressed me. It's really interesting to see that, what's happened here. And I hope we see us again here in Zug in the next future, because Guy is really often there in my space that we can talk together. And I hope we do that again in the future. Thank you really much for that. I have a look now in the chat. Is there any questions? I can't find at the moment, but it's possible that our technical team sent me something. Otherwise, I have a question, Thiago. Do you have a special case for a reseller system where you can tell us how do you use this BRC?
Yes, so basically there are two cases. The first one is, let's say you have a payment processing company outside of Brazil, like for example in Switzerland, and you have customers that have market in Brazil, right? They have clients in Brazil. So yeah, you can resell the BRZ. You can become one of the institutions that does the redemption of BRZ. And you can also actually offer our payment infrastructure under your system, your platform. So as in like a white label solution, where you can offer your client directly, like, hey, I have the capability of receiving payments and sending payments in Brazil. And then you use our infrastructure. That is one of the methods. Okay.
Thank you very much, Thiago. Take care. And I hope we see us soon. And thank you very much that you are in our backyard and you help us. And perhaps we see us again in February. And so with the next steps, what do you do and what your company do? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good day. Thank you, guys.
Bye.